Well, ever since I started watching the Flash, I don't really could do the same thing.
I wish he would stop. He's making me dizzy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of SmegChris Review. I'm going to start with something a little different this time around. A review of a technical gadget. I bought this, a Now TV box, and it is awesome. It doesn't cost much for a monthly subscription and you can cancel at any time. You sign up on the internet and you can watch it on your computer. However, I bought this box for only £15 so I can watch it on my television. With it I've got 3 months free subscription. Try saying that 5 times fast. On it I can watch Sky One programmes as well as other channels, catch up TV and box sets. I can even watch YouTube on it. As a matter of fact, I've not watched any YouTube on my laptop since I set it up, which by the way is very easy to do. You set up on the internet, plug the box into the television, give it power, and in a matter of moments it's ready to start. The only downside I've found is that you can't comment on a YouTube video, but then you wouldn't want to with this remote. And believe me, this is the most simplest remote I've ever owned, which is brilliant.
I'm sure he's sponsored.
The reason I got it is simple, which leads me on to my next topic. Television. I bought the box so I could watch The Flash. This superhero has always been my favourite, and recently I was able to binge watch the entire first season on DVD, which to be honest wasn't that difficult to do. I just couldn't stop watching. The second season had just started on Sky One and I couldn't wait a whole year for it to come out on DVD. I had this ache right here. And I can see why it's doing better than Arrow. It is amazing! From what I hear, with every new episode the ratings just get better and better. I really wish my episodes would. But Flash isn't the only new show. Well, new to me anyway. I've caught a few others which I want to review right here. First is Scream Queen, starring Emma Roberts and Jamie Lee Curtis. After the first episode I found myself bored and not very interested in watching any more. Actually, to be honest, halfway through I was still awake because of all the irritating bland characters. Needless to say, I never watched that second episode. Another new show is Jekyll and Hyde, and I swear down that after only 15 minutes I had to switch it off. It felt like someone was drilling into my eye as I was watching it. The dialogue was cliched, the acting was hammy, and the script wasn't very enticing either. And like Scream Queens, I won't be watching Jekyll and Hyde.
What's a cliche?
You say it's sponsored. You always say it.
Supergirl has just started and I have mixed feelings. The pilot episode should have been a 2-parter as it seemed like it was a little bit rushed. With the exception of Callista Flockhart, the actors are taking some getting used to. But I have to say the action is absolutely brilliant. Those fight sequences are amazing. This is a show that has potential. The only thing I feel let down by is the lack of seeing Superman properly. What am I doing with my fingers? All we've seen so far is some arms, a silhouette and a flying CGI version. Surely if they're cousins and the last of their race, or was, it seems the whole of Krypton is showing up alive. Then they would see each other often. I know that they're saying that this is a Supergirl story, but it should show up now and then in the flesh. All I ask is that we see him properly, even just the one time. I have to say though, it's quite interesting how they get around that. I do have other shows that I want to talk about, but I want to get on to movie review, because I have 2 for you. Again.
Hello, fine going for a rookie, sir.
The first film I saw was Crimson Peak. I know, it's not something I normally watch, but I was actually dragged to it. The thing is, the acting was absolutely fantastic. However, that's all I liked about it. The story was slow, the drama was slow, the film took way too long to make any sense. If it wasn't for my cousin sat next to me jumping out of her skin every 5 minutes, I would have fallen asleep. And that's her fault for making me go. In fact, the only thing that shocked me about this film was that it was directed by Guillermo del Toro. I think that's how you say his name anyway. You know, the guy who directed Hellboy, Hellboy 2 and Pacific Rim. Which probably explains its strangeness. But it definitely wasn't something for me, as I only give it a... and a scary candle holder. And that joke is aimed at my cousin. The second movie is the latest James Bond, Spectre. The opening scene was grand and quite interesting, but it seemed to get dragged out, which became a common theme throughout the entire movie. Then we were led into the titles with a song that sounded nothing like a Bond song, sung by Sam Smith. And I'm sorry to say, his voice is wonderful, but the song is awful. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that they picked a random song from a popular artist. And it just doesn't work for the movie. Then the film starts up, but then it's just mostly talking. All the way through. When we do get some action in the supposed action movie, even that seems to go on for far too long, turning it into a 2.5-hour film. The intro, for example. We saw a lot of cityscapes and random shots that made the movie needlessly longer. And we weren't even introduced to the bad guy until I think the last hour or last half hour. To be honest, I don't really know, because most of it I was sat like this. Believe me, that's the truth. I'm sorry to say this, but as a James Bond fan, I have to say this is one of the worst Bond films I have ever watched. I have to say it's even worse than Quantum of Solace. I think it's time that they brought back the traditional James Bond, the one that smirks through all the explosions, the car chases and the gunfights. As a matter of fact, at this point in time, I'm actually missing Timothy Dalton's Bond. I mean, let's face facts, the last one, Skyfall, was absolutely amazing. Surprisingly though, Spectre is just the opposite. I heavily suspect that director Sam Mendes did not want to come back and do this, so he set out to make the worst possible Bond film that he could ever make, so that he would never be asked back again. I have to give Spectre a... I think this one was stirred, not shaken.
No, that's a cliche.
The name is Bond. Fred Bond.
So is this.
Well, it's time for me to go. Thanks for watching and subscribing if you have. Until the next time, peace out. Whilst I was setting up the camera here, because as you know I like to have the DVDs in the background to prove that I like my movies and my TV shows. I think you've got it now anyway. But I've noticed something, that I have just the one light and it happens to be there. So while I'm filming and I get closer to you, this side of my face, this side, is shaded while this side's lit up. And it's getting to the point where I'm just like always thinking about it because I can always see it in the viewfinder. I mean, if I was to do this, turn it around that way, the light is there and there's more of, you know, the light on my face. That's good lighting. However, not very good curtains, are they? Turning back. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should move this sofa that's sat right there with a dog on it, by the way, that way, and then I can sort of stand here with the light there and, you know, you can see all of me now. Why did I not think of that before? Like half of my face, it's a mystery.